Hello, everybody. So, today we're going to be discussing a very important topic, and it is for anybody who might be feeling as though they have a lot of thoughts about somebody. If you feel as though you can't stop thinking about someone, this is for you. And also, I will be answering questions if there are any at the end with the tarot, of course. Welcome so much to Zeus Angel Tarot. Thank you all for being here. I'm not going to take too much of your time. This is going to be a short live. I wanted to share some information with you that I learned today and also some personal information about me in regards to how it can relate to this topic, how I can relate to this topic. So, what is it about? What is it about people who we can't stop thinking about? Why do we do this? Why can't we get them out of our head? Is it magical thinking? Does it mean they're thinking about us? Hello. So, I like to relate a lot of things to Buddhism, but what you all don't know about me is that I went to school to study psychology. That was my minor in school. And I have been doing some research about Carl Jung. Okay, small research. And hi, P. Carl Jung is a very well-renowned psychotherapist. You can Google him. And he has this idea about people that we can't stop thinking about. So, and I'll relate my own experiences to this. When I fall for someone, I definitely can't stop thinking about them. Some of that's normal. Some of that is absolutely normal. But sometimes when the relationship is over, or if you don't hear from them, you still can't stop thinking about them. So why is that? Now, I want to be practical. I don't want to talk about magical thinking because I feel like it's not going to help you to think that they're thinking about you too. They absolutely could be thinking about you as well. But what's more important is, why can't you stop thinking about them? So therein lies the answer that you're looking for. Why can't I stop thinking about them? And Jung will say that it isn't about the other person. It's really about you. Sometimes, and in my own experience, sometimes these people are projections of yourself. Sometimes these people are projections of your fears. Number one, maybe this person who maybe even caused you trauma or hurt you reminds you of somebody that you disdain. It could even remind you of parts of yourself that you're not ready to deal with. It's a projection. It's a projection of you. And the first thing that you do is to recognize that. Oh, why, what is it about this person that it might not even be an ex? It could even be a friend of yours or somebody who you admire that you can't stop thinking about them. Why? They have confidence. You don't have confidence. You have low self-esteem. If it's an ex, you hate them. Maybe there's some things about them that remind you of yourself that you're not ready to accept. So this is what Carl Jung says about it. And it can really unlock a lot of growth and awareness for you to relate to those unconscious thoughts and feelings, and realize that it really isn't about that person, whoever they are to you, whether you even know them, whether it's your ex. It's not about them. It's about you. And it's about you and your dark night, as we call it in the spiritual community. I had to realize this within my own self, that there are some maybe not so great things about my personality that I just had to realize it's okay, because I know that I am going to work through it. So we'll pull some cards and then I'll open up the chat. Is anyone out there? Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm still using my phone. So yes, It isn't about that person. It's about you. It's about your projections. It's about your insecurities. And it's about the characteristics that you would like to have that this person might have. Okay. So this requires you to be fully honest with yourself. Okay. And in order to grow, you do have to, if you want to attract better people, if you want to have better things in your life, you have to be fully honest with yourself. You don't have to tell the whole world about it. Maybe you talk to a therapist about it. Maybe you talk to a support group about it. But you do have to be honest with yourself. You have to admit, okay, so my ex was a liar and I don't like that. Maybe I lie to myself about my negative, about everything. Maybe I have some denial. That's something I had to realize about myself. Okay, so this person, they are so cool. They're confident. They have self-worth. I have to work on my self-worth. I have to work on my insecurity. I have to work on liking myself. And deep down, it's just, you're going to see that it's not about them. And it's more of a projection of you. And I'm going to pull a card from Oracle deck just to get us started, get us to talk about this subject even more. And if you feel like you're relating to this, go ahead and look up Carl Jung. There's lots of videos on it. There's lots of books and discussions about it. And first and foremost, forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgiveness is key because forgiving other people starts with forgiving yourself, right? Because you didn't know. I choose to forgive all those who have hurt me in the past because it's a projection of yourself. It's a projection of your own insecurities. It's a projection of your trauma. It's a projection of the growth that you need to acquire. And if you don't know what the word projection is, you can, Google is your best friend, really. The angel of glory. I sing praise and glory to the source of all life. It can be very, very helpful to find a support network. You know, if it doesn't matter if you're religious or not, we all need to have a group of people who support our own growth. For me, that was support groups. I attended many support groups when I was going through my last toxic relationship. I had to get really real with myself. I had to get sober. I had to get real with myself. I had to hug the ugly parts of myself. I had to forgive myself. And I couldn't do it alone, right? Because it takes a village. Let's pull some cards from the Tarot of the Divine. We'll see what we can get into. How y'all doing? Where y'all at? And I know a lot of you guys out there probably will watch videos that will say, if you can't get them out of your head, they're thinking about you. And it's dangerous to think that way because it can escalate the obsession even more. And it can be a little bit of delusion when you think that way. It's not healthy to think that way. Whether it's true or not doesn't really matter because you're not really addressing what's underneath it all. The unconscious. A lot of us walk around completely unaware of our own conscious drives, and that's a dangerous place to be. Because if you're completely unaware of yourself, of your programming, of your trauma, of your patterns, of why you allow people to take advantage of you, then the patterns are going to continue. They're going to continue. You're going to find yourself in these same type of relationships. Why do I attract the narcissist? Why do you allow them into your life? What have you not recognized about yourself, right? It's hard. It is so hard to admit these things. And goes back to that forgiveness and the awareness. Being brutally honest with yourself. And like I said before, you don't have to admit it to anyone. You can write it down in a journal, although it does help to speak it out loud and to go to support group. Okay, first out. 4, why do they live rent-free in our head? 3 of Cups. As I was saying before, some of us could maybe lack community or lack support. What else do we have? You could even have the same circle of friends. That can be difficult. If it's an ex, if it's not an ex, if it's family, maybe you're constantly around them. 5 of Cups in reverse. It's hard to get over the disappointment of something not working the way that we want it to. And in Buddhism, we realize that we don't have as much control as we'd like. A lot of our discomfort and suffering comes from the fact that we can't control other people's behaviors. Release it. Let it go. You don't want to control someone else, because if you do, then there's no free will. Then they may as well be a robot, right? You want people to be free. You want them to come towards you without you having to force them, because it's not free will then. Release control. If things didn't work the way that you want it to, learn from that. Ace of Pentacles. This is a long-term thing. Maybe if it is about an ex that who's living rent-free in your head, you could have thought that this was it. You could have thought that they were going to stick around forever. And it can be very upsetting, because it can be like your world is turned upside down if that didn't happen the way that you wanted to. Once again, releasing control, relinquishing control, finding that support group. We have Three of Wands. We're still waiting for them to come back. We're still wanting. We're still hoping. We're still thinking with those magical thoughts that it can all work out if I just believe it, which is, once again, borderline delusion. And believe it or not, a lot of people on YouTube will prey off of that with their clickbait. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Lack of communication, lack of boundaries, lack of finances. It could be, a lot of us don't want to realize the ugly truth. I'm not saying it's you. Okay, so don't, if you're triggered, I understand. But sometimes we stay in relationships because of financial need, or even it doesn't have to be a romantic, any kind of relationship, that we continue it because economic decline. It's inevitable, right? And Four of Swords. We just want to break from the pain, just want to break from the heartache. We want to rest. We don't want to feel pain anymore. And you're not going to be able to stop yourself, because you can't 100% control your brain. You can slow it down with meditation. You can slow it down and observe the thoughts, but you're never going to be able to completely shut it off, right? And that's fine. Have the awareness. Allow the thought to come. Allow the thought to go. It doesn't have to completely take over your life. And pain can teach us. The only way out is through. We just got a lot of cards coming out here. So we have the High Priestess in reverse. The way that I see that is secrets. Now, I understand sometimes when we break up, or when we have a parting of ways, or a difficult situation with our family, we find things out. It can be that we're thinking about it because we want to put the pieces together. And lean into it. Journal about it, because there is a reason why it's coming up. And it's up to you to discern what it is that is triggering this unconsciousness within you. I'm just going to look at the chat because I haven't been looking at it. Oh, hi, P. Okay, we just got P over here. Yeah, I'll be doing the questions. What does that say? Oh, my God. Carl Jung influenced my life. Oh, amazing. Exactly, such videos can sometimes lead to. Yes, thank you. Carl Jung's amazing. His work is amazing. And actually, Carl Jung archetypes are within tarot. And there's even a tarot deck, which I will get for us all, that is about such Carl Jung archetypes. What else do we have here? Ooh, we have the Five of Wands. So I feel like sometimes we have an internal conflict that's completely unaddressed, and it's triggered. It's triggered in our relationship, in all of our relationships. And it's up to us to untie those knots. It's up to us to face that internal conflict so that it doesn't manifest in other ways, right? And everything is, perception is key, because I could see it as a total burden that I had trauma. But that feeling really doesn't serve me at all. It doesn't help. It doesn't stop anything. It doesn't serve me at all to think that way. Instead, I have to see it as a learning mechanism, as a tool to my freedom, to lean into it. Ace of Cups, it can absolutely prevent us from meeting new people, to be stuck in that. I almost want to say it's like a freeze response. And for me, I learned that I have a little bit of a disassociation from my own childhood trauma, because I have neglect, I have abandonment, I have all that. I have all of it. And it can 100% cause us to attach to people who are unavailable, make us obsess over people, make us feel jealous, all these different things. And it blocks our blessing. It blocks us from having healthy and secure love, unless we learn how to learn from it. We learn how to learn from it. That sounded funny when I said it out loud like that. What else do we have as a talking point? We have the Hanged Man in reverse. Sleeping Beauty, wake up. It's in our subconscious. Now, the story of Sleeping Beauty is such that Sleeping Beauty couldn't wake up until the right person came along and kissed Sleeping Beauty. The way that I see that is that we're walking around like zombies, completely unaware of our subconscious programming. And sometimes it takes a certain type of relationship to jar us into reality, to wake us up enough to notice that we have some things going on in there, rooting around in our subconscious, that we haven't quite tapped into yet. It can take a relationship, a good one or a bad one, to erupt in our face and have us thinking on it for years and years and years after. Why? Because it's triggering the very thing within you that you need to look at, the very thing within you that you need to give attention to, the very thing within you that you need to heal, to mend, to attract better things in your life. It isn't some magical vibration. It isn't some, they're thinking about me too. No, that's the thing that keeps you stuck in these situations. Don't do that to yourself. Be real with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be caring with yourself, but don't ignore it, okay? Because it is important. It's important for you to continue to think about and analyze without even reaching out to that person, because it has nothing to do with them. As I already said before, it's all about you. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Could be that we had a broken home. Could be that we're homesick. Could be that we're trying to relive our relationship with our parents, as almost all romantic relationships are. And if you didn't know that, it is. We turn into our parents if we're not aware of it. And we sometimes attract the parent who we had the most unhealthy relationship with, because we want to fix it. We want to mend it somehow, in our unconscious, in our subconscious. Okay. Justice. It's unfair. I get it. Oh, that just means I have too many cards on here. It's unfair. Yeah, I understand. If we had a relationship that was toxic, and it can be unfair, but it doesn't help to have those feelings. It doesn't. It does you a disservice to think that way, because it's not going to change the past. Instead, it's going to prevent you from moving forward. Okay. I think I've talked enough, and I've made a mess of the cards everywhere. So if you guys have any questions for the tarot or for the topic of conversation, go ahead and put them in the chat. I haven't really been looking at the chat. This is a topic that's very close to my heart, because as I said before, I have the same issue. I've dealt with it. We've all been there. Dorilla says hello. And I'm reading more about what you said here. P says, you have the same issue. Videos can sometimes lead to delusions. Oh my God, don't get me started about delusions because then I'm going to talk about twin flames and how it's really unhealthy and how tarot readers and spiritual readers use it as clickbait to get you to believe these things. It doesn't even matter if it's true at the end of the day because, um, if a good relationship's going to come along, it's going to come along based on your own personal growth. It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is how they treat you. Dorella says, when will Tony be reaching out to me? So, Dorella, instead of answering that question, I think I want to ask if that relationship is even healthy for you. And if maybe you're obsessing a little too much, maybe you're unhealthfully attached to this person. I honestly don't like answering those questions because I don't want to give you false hope. Who is this person to you? What happened between you two? Are they even good for you? Are you just attached to an avoidant person? You got to ask yourself these questions. 0 obsession. That's good. That's good that you have 0 obsession. And the truth is that, you know, reconciliations aren't the answer. I don't go back to them. If it didn't work the first time, the chances are it's not going to work again because probably things haven't changed. Change takes a lot of work. Yes, he's good for me. Have you called him? Have you messaged him? I felt guilty about saying that, but I used to believe in twin flames. It's fine to believe in twin flames. I don't believe them personally, but what isn't good is to delude yourself into thinking that relationships are magical and that you should put up with abuse and that you should put up with things that you shouldn't. That's the problem. I mean, honestly, language is made up. English is made up. All languages are made up. And in reality, spirituality is a lot more abstract than we can put into language. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could reach out to him instead of waiting for him to call you. You can reach out to him. It's okay to do that. And I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it back to Matthew Hussey because he's a relationship coach, and he'll say that you have to lead by example. So if you want someone to message you and communicate with you, then you have to lead by example, show them how. Reach out to him. It's okay to do that. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I don't know if it's unsafe or anything. But you don't have to wait on someone. I'll pull a card for you anyway. Cuz that's what we're all here for. As long as you realize that tarot doesn't dictate action, you do. If you want something to happen, sometimes you have to take action. Let's see what the tarot says for Miss Dorella. Where y'all at? What y'all doing? Are you guys celebrating the New Year's? I'm probably going to sleep through it. Oh, Ace of Wands. Okay, so a bunch of cards fell on the floor, but we did get the Ace of Wands, and then we got the World for you. And so the Ace is a 1. A 1. I feel like, and see, I don't like doing predictions because I'm going to give you false hope. I really don't like doing predictions. I'm not going to lie. Maybe a week. Maybe you'll hear from them in a week. Why the Ace of Wands? Why the Ace of Wands? 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups. I feel like this person could have some trauma here. 10 of Cups in reverse, I see that as a dysfunctional family. And then 6 of Cups. So this to me would suggest that they're thinking about you. But with the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Cups, they might have some trauma. Or they might be wrapped up with their family. And Peace says, does Arsh like me romantically? I think he's interested, but I'm not sure. I'm going to ask you what I ask everyone. Have you told him how you feel about him? I feel like the thing is that at the end of the day, the things that we regret are the things that we don't say and do. It's okay to initiate. It's okay to tell someone that you like them. Let's see what the tarot says for Prob. Yeah, because I don't like to dance around it. The thing is, I'm different. I'm the type of person, I guess, I'll go up to someone. If I like them, I'm not gonna dance around it. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna go up to them. They're gonna know I like them. It's gonna be a green light. It's gonna be a green flag, because sometimes people are too afraid to initiate because they fear rejection. So I like to go ahead and let it be known. And if it chases someone away, then that person isn't meant for me. And I don't consider it chasing to initiate conversation. I consider it leading by example or clearing the air. I like to clear the air. Whoa. What does Prob say? Prob says, no, I try to, but the thing, I don't talk to anyone in my class, so I don't know what to do. Something different this time. Okay, yeah, well, it's important to build those skills to be able to approach people. It's important to do that. But let's see what the tarot says. It's good to build up your confidence, and you can at least talk to them and see how they respond to you. Let's see what the tarot says. King of Pentacles. So this to me looks like I feel like this person's focusing on their career. So that to me would suggest that they might not realize that you like them and that they're focusing on their career. So yeah, show them some interest and lead by example. It can be really helpful. Okay, you guys, it doesn't look like anyone's in the chat. I'm sorry, Dorella, hopefully I didn't make you feel bad. I don't want to give anyone false hope. If you like someone, let them know. Start a conversation. You never know what'll happen. But yeah, for Prob, it just kind of looks like they have money on their mind, and like that's their main focus right now. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. Thank you so much for coming out. And this is gonna be your last chance to put a question in the chat. If not, I'm just gonna end the live. And I'll see y'all later. Thank you guys for coming out. I hope this elevated your consciousness in some type of way, shape, or form. I'll see y'all on the flip side. You're welcome. Bye.